happening with the Howa, the 6.5 Creedmoor, number 4 contour 26-inch barrel Howa. I did do some tests at the range with some hand loads that I'd made up and also with some factory ammo, and came to a few conclusions. As far as factory ammo is concerned, the best was the Hornady match with the 140 grain ELD matches. Now, I can't remember what the other, I had Hornady tap, that was pretty good too. The match just outshot it a little bit. I'm not going to bother showing you the results of that because I've done some alterations to the gun. And also I've gotten some of this Seiko TRG Precision 6.5 Creedmoor with the 136 grain hollow pointed boat tail. I've compared it because I've also got some different projectiles, and one of the projectiles that I was able to get was some Lapua 136 grain hollow point boat tail, and it looks exactly like those. So my suspicion is that those Seiko rounds have got the Lapua projectiles. They look virtually the same, exactly the same. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they perform. Sorry I sound a bit funny, but I'm still recovering from the last job I did, which was at a gold mine. It was the dustiest place I've ever been to, like literally, and I've been to a lot of mines, you know, internationally and nationally, and oh, it was murder. Yeah, it really screwed my nose and throat right up. Yeah, gold mines are the worst. They really are. They're the most toxic. Now, when I did that testing of those hand loads were pretty crap, and the reason being is that my reloading equipment or loading equipment is not precise enough to do what I want to do. I'm still using the same equipment that I bought, you know, when I first started reloading or loading, which was the Lee Classic kit. I think that's what it's called, and it's just a small alloy O-press. I think it's alloy. I don't think it's iron, and it's as rough as guts. I mean, there's just no precision. You know, it's got one tiny little ram and it's loose, and yeah, you know, I could not even get the bullet seating consistent to within a thousandth. You know, between, you know, I'd be seating exactly the same to exactly the same point, and they'd still be out. I'd be having to go back and hit them again, and I'd be damaging the ogive, and it was just, the equipment that I've got is crap. So I have actually got some better equipment on order, some Reading dies, and also, or RCBS dies. I've already got the dies actually. What I haven't got is a press. I'm looking to get the RCBS Summit press, which, from what I can see and from all reports, and like when you look at it, it's got a big 2-inch ram, you know, not a skinny little thing. I'd like to get coaxial press or multi-axial press, but they're just prohibitively expensive. They are really expensive, and I'm not at a point where I really, you know, am prepared to spend that sort of money when I'm still getting into it, in a sort of long distance precision, or I aim to, into probably F class. Like some people would say, well, you really don't have the rifle that's capable of it. I disagree. I think this rifle is capable. The only downfall so far has been the ammunition. The ammunition that I've tried, factory ammunition, is these have been the best. The 140 grain ELD match, Hornady match ammo, and also the Hornady TAP, Hornady TAP, tactical and police, whatever it is, ammo. That was pretty close, but the match won out. So I've also got some of this, which I've never seen before, Seiko TRG Precision ammo, and the projectiles look like they're Lapuas. So yeah, and I've got some Lapua 136 grains. So once I get that RCBS Summit press, I will be able to do things accurately, because at the moment I just can't. It's, you know, the concentricity is probably all over the place. I have no doubt. I've got a concentricity tool on order. What else have I got in order? You know, I'm not a millionaire. I haven't got endless funds, so I've just got to wait a little while until I've got enough funds to buy a press, the Summit press, because I've been spending shitloads of money on ammunition and components. I'm just drinking coffee, relax, there's no alcohol. If you're wondering what that is, might as well take it off. I've just had a blood lead test. Yeah, I'm literally a pincushion. We go to that many different mines, and you know, none of them share any of that information. So, yeah, constantly getting blood tests and drug and alcohol tests, and you name it. The most tested profession in Australia, without a doubt, probably the world. Now, so that's all of that. So I've made a couple of alterations. Firstly, I've got a 20 MOA rail that I've got on there. I'm still using the Delta titanium. You might not have noticed, or you will notice now when I tell you. The cheek piece on the cheek rest on these things is a bit of a pain, because what was happening was that when I went to pull the bolt out, because when I'm at the range and there's a ceasefire, I always take the bolt out. I'd go to pull the bolt out and it would hit it, because it was about there. It would just hit it, and you couldn't pull the bolt out without pulling this off, and so you constantly. And then sometimes I'd forget to put the thing back on, and I'd be trying to shoot, but what I've done, so I'll do that up. What I've done is now I can take the bolt out. Okay. Because, as you can see, I've ground out a big scallop out of the end of it, and it doesn't affect me in any way, so I don't need that bit to be there. So now I can actually remove the bolt without taking off the cheek rest, which is sweet. Yeah, the bolt is nice and smooth. The other alteration that I've done, I'll just unlock this, is that I know that I've bagged people with muzzle brakes, but you know, there's got to be a reason for it. It's not just a fashion statement, or you know, being a part of a fad. You know, there is a reason for it, and I'll tell you which one it is. It's a radially, it's got holes all the way around, and it is because I went online to try. It's sort of hard to find. Because this is a number 4 contour barrel, it's not a true heavy barrel. It's sort of hard to find a brake that actually, it's 1/2 inch by 28. It's not 5/8 by 24 or whatever it is. So it's sort of hard to find a brake that actually fits this properly. But luckily, Grizzly Precision Muzzle Brakes, an Australian company, they actually make, this is specifically made for this diameter barrel, and it fits, yeah, pretty much perfectly. If you didn't look closely, you would think it was actually part of the barrel, but it's not. And it suits Browning X-Bolt, Tikka T3, T3X, Seiko, CZ Weatherby, Howa Sport, and Haynel. It's a 15.6mm diameter, 1/2 inch by 28 TPI, up to 30 caliber. But it was actually advertised, I got it from Cleaver, it was actually advertised specifically for this barreled action combination. And so you've got radial holes all the way around, and you just tighten it with this thing, you just stick it through the holes, and so yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I've not heard anything bad about it, so, but I've not really seen any reviews of it either. Originally I had the thread protector on there, and that was a bit of a disaster getting that off, because I'd Loctite it on because it was getting loose originally, and I put too much Loctite on. I had to apply heat, and I tried originally with just a pair of pliers, and then in the end I had to use a pipe wrench because I had that much Loctite in there, so I've boogered it up a bit, but I don't care. It's probably never going back on. Let's see, what else can I say? Yeah, those hand loads that I'd made, oh man, they were all over the place. So the concentricity would be just horrendous. I know that for a fact. So the other thing is that I did not, when I was looking at the loads in like the Lee book, and I had a look at a few online and that, popular loads and that, I'm really sweating because it is hot. What happened was that I sort of went midway between what was start at and maximum powder weights. I was midway, and I thought, yeah, that'll be right. Obviously, the fact that my understanding is that most of those loads are developed for 24-inch barrels, or so I'm led to believe. This is a 26-inch barrel, and what I believe was happening was that because it's a 26-inch barrel, there was a higher pressure developed on ignition or explosion, and so what was happening is that every one of those hand loads, and there was like, yeah, I tried like 4 different projectiles with all different weights and all different powder weights, and they were all showing signs of the beginning of pressure problems. Not serious, you know, the primers weren't, you know, totally flattened out or anything like that, but the primers were cratering in the firing pin, which none of the factory ammo was. So that leads me to believe that those loads that I developed were too hot, a little bit too hot, and it doesn't pay. You know, shooting flatter is not necessarily more accurate, and there's a lot of very good shooters who say exactly that. Shooting flatter is not more accurate, you know, and it's the same thing in archery, which I do have experience with, where if you have a look at Olympic archers, target archers, their bows are really low poundage, like especially the recurve, they're really low, like 35 pounds or something, you know, some of them, which is really low, but they're just precision built. So shooting flatter is not necessarily, or faster, is not necessarily, you know, better achieve, but it doesn't necessarily achieve better accuracy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go lighter, probably at least a grain lighter than I did before, and just try to temper the pressure issue that I believe that I was having. It's always, I will measure these two, but only as far as overall length is concerned, because you know, when I opened the Hornady matchup, I actually took one apart and had a look inside it, see what it had. It looked like H4350, which is AR2209. It looked like it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what it is, because the ammunition companies, so I'm led to believe, actually will have their own special recipe. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it looked like 4350. So, but that's what I've been using, because that seems to be what everyone's raving about when it comes to 6.5 Creed. So that's also, I fixed the bipod. This, I can't remember what I don't know if it's the actual brand. There's a brand that makes these. I don't know if it's the actual brand. I can't remember because it's got nothing on it. I think it's just a cheaper copy, but it's a very good copy. And I did have a problem with one of the retaining pins. It was loose. So to fix that, all I did was get a center punch and just peen it so that now it's solid. So, but it is a good bipod, no doubt about that. So that's the update of this. Yeah, still got the Timney in there. So what I'll do is I will go to the range next and test more Hornady match and the Seiko TRGs. I wanted to get some tap, but they were out, so yeah, couldn't get that. So that's the update on the Howa, my precision rifle. Still, like I said, still got the Delta Titanium 4.5 to 30 on here. Later down the track, when I've got a little bit more money again, I am going to buy a Delta this is a Delta Optical. I'm going to buy a Delta Optical Striker 5 to 50, so I've got 50 power. And I know that a lot of precision shooters say, oh, you don't need a lot of power. Yeah, I do. I can't see jack shit. You know, I can, but at distance, I have astigmatism, which affects my distance vision, and yeah, I need a powerful scope, or I like a powerful scope. People say, well, and it's true, when you're cranking the magnification up, you're also magnifying the atmosphere. So mirage and haze and whatnot. Yeah, that's true, but you know, it's one or the other. Either you're going low magnification and you can't see much of the target, or you're going high magnification and the target's either really hazy or it's jumping around from mirage or whatever. Personal preference, I prefer to have high magnification. And when I'm shooting at testing rifles at the range, especially with this scope, I always have it at 30. I've never had it below or less. You know, especially when I'm testing at 100 metres, you're not going to get any serious. Yeah, you do get heat mirage, but yeah, not enough at 100 metres to affect it seriously. Yeah, so that's the update on this. The TSPX chassis from SCSA, Southern Cross Small Arms, is great. Yeah, it's a great chassis again. That's pretty much it, so that's the update. And next time you'll see this rifle is after I've tested that, done more accuracy testing with Hornady Match, because I wanted to see, with now that's got the muzzle brake on there, I wanted to see how that affected accuracy, because there's a few reports that I've heard and seen on YouTube and that where muzzle brakes have actually improved accuracy. One of the reasons is that they reduce recoil and therefore shock in the barrel and the harmonics. And the other reason is, the reason I like this radial brake with the holes going all the way around is that it's an even dispersal of the gases. They're not going just up and back like with the other brake that I've got on the 7mm Rem Mag. So anyway, I've prattled on enough. Yeah, that's what you're going to see next time. So until I come back from the range, see you later.